So before we start the fifth season, I have a couple things to say. First, this is going to be the prospect report as usual. Second, if we win the Stanley Cup this year, I think I'm going to end this GM. I don't want it to get too ridiculous to the point where we're winning the Stanley Cup every year. So if we win two, I'll stop this year. If I don't win, obviously we'll continue into year six. But I said I wanted to do the full 10 years. However, I also anticipated more of a rebuild than ended up happening. A lot of things kind of went our way, like Ribeiro staying so good for so long that helped us get Tyler Johnson and Nikita Kucherov and things like that of that nature. Being able to trade up for being able to trade for Matt Duchene using Pekka Rinne because he stayed good for so long. Just a lot of things went our way with the progression, besides the progression of Cale Yarncroke, obviously. But David Beck has kind of mitigated the problems that could have caused a little bit. So we're going to go over the prospects and everything in this episode. Also, Austin Watson jumping up to an 85 overall really helped out as well. I don't know if we really have any other prospects in the system anymore that are on the main squad. Edmondson's just about capped out unless he gets a little bit better. I don't think he will, though. I think that's it for him. Chapman can always get a little bit better. If he's up to like an 85 by the end of his progression, I'll be happy with him, and he will be a bottom six and top line penalty killer with Shea Weber. Or maybe even not, I don't know. But he actually made the team. He was our second round pick in the first year's draft. He made the team 2 whole years before, at least 2 whole years before Konechny did, so that's good for him. All these guys are NHL regulars pretty much at this point, and then after that everyone's capped out on our squad, so we're looking to get a little bit younger, but not a whole lot, because veterans are important still. And then as far as prospects go, of course we have Kim Nold and Sean Day, our 2 big defensive prospects. He's likely going to replace Cody Franzen, and he is likely going to replace Roman Josi, as those 2 will enter free agency within the next couple years. We'll look at Yosi's up after 2 years, so Day can take him over then, and Franzen's up after this year, so hopefully Noel will be good enough to take over. Obviously he won't be playing top line, but he'll be able to take over a spot on the major league team. I'm just going to say major league. Then we got Tyler MacArthur, who could also make a push for a roster spot within the next couple years. Maybe if Edmondson costs too much, we can just tender and trade him away, and MacArthur can take over. And then we got Felipe Myers, Matt Murphy, Brandon Crawley, and Jason Fram. I'm just looking at defensemen, I'm sorry. We got Kurt Ells, who's 4.5 or 4 stars, but I don't think he's going to get up there based on the fact that he signed for $745,000 over 3 years. I think he's just going to end up capping out at 79, nothing more. But we didn't acquire him like with a draft pick or anything, so I'm not too like concerned because he was a draft pick of Anaheim. We just claimed him off waivers. Brendan Lemieux still could turn into something, but he stayed at the same overall for the last 2 years, so I'm not sure that he will turn into anything. However, if he does, that'd be nice. We might even use him as like a defenseman or something, because he's got a big slap shot, but it's not a very accurate one. So he's definitely more of a power forward type player. Who knows, if he jumps up enough, he could replace that David Backes role, just big physical player, throwing the body and everything. And then after that, it's no one really important. So we'll go through every team. Seth Antonio actually made the roster. He was the number 1 overall pick this last year, so that's nice to see. A 78 overall 2-way forward. Good shot, good passing. He will put up some points in his rookie year. Severson's still staying at an 83 overall. I don't know if it's Severson or Severson. I heard I watched someone's Devils GM mode and they said Severson, so I don't know. Larson, Merrill, these guys are all regulars at this point. Owen McDonald's, I don't know if he might have played last season in the NHL. I'm not sure. Yeah, he did. He had 9 points in 56 games. So he's looking to improve this year, although he's only an 80 overall. You got Guillaume McSween, Schmalz, and then after that it's players like this who are not important. And then in the system they got Kyle Clegg, who was, I believe, the top pick last year. Yes, no, it'll be the second year. Never mind. He was the top pick second year of this draft. And they got a good bit of prospects in the pool. Not as deep a prospect pool as ours, but still. The Islanders have Kriske, still not in the NHL. This guy's actually ahead of him. Jonathan Champ, Tyler Higgins. Ho-Sang's still not making it up there. Mason Shaw, Kyle Langdon. And then on their main team, they have Del Call up to an 88 overall already. Going to cost them a good pretty penny this year, this offseason. Griffin Reinhart still not really going to turn into anything from the looks of it. Pulock up to an 88. I think a lot of other players capped out, like Nick Leddy, who next GM mode, because I'm going to do another one regardless of how long this one carries on. I'm going to have to do another one anyway. Nick Leddy definitely needs to get a little bit of a boost to like an 86 or so. And then Johnny Boychuk is really declining as well. Oh, the Rangers. I don't expect them to have anyone really that great. They have Clarence Perreault, who I believe will be a rookie this year. And that's it. They got Victor Mete. Only Mikola still hasn't really progressed. And that's it as far as that goes. I want to see what kind of veterans they have in the minors, too. They got Scott Hartnell, Tuomo Ruutu, and Brandon Mishinter all on their AHL team. And Zach Ronaldo. That's funny. So it looks like the Rangers are starting to kind of hit a decline. Georg Schotten, let's see what year he was drafted. Or he was drafted this last year, I believe. Yeah, 2018 would be this year. 2015 would be the year one draft. Yeah, so that's cool. Bittner, Nolan Patrick, Dorval, Guillaume Gauthier, still hasn't made the NHL team. Cody Ceci, it looks like that's where he's going to finish, is at 88. Dylan Strome is in the NHL this season. I believe he was in the NHL last season, though. No, he wasn't. So this is his rookie year. Watch out for him. He was drafted the same year as Konechny, so Konechny just might be a little bit of a slow developer. He'll definitely be ready next year. Curtis Lazar, his second year in the NHL. Maybe he can jump up from that 50-point output. Who knows? And Pumple. Philadelphia got Sean Couturier, about to cap out, and only an 85. Samuel Morin, Robert Hagg, Evan DeHaan is in the NHL this season, and no one else really after that. They got Kaspic and all these guys. I'm not going to read every single person anymore. It's taking way too long. So Kapanen looks like he's not really progressing. I remember he was a 78 this time last year when we came to look at him, so that's not a good sign for them. Derek Pouliot up to an 85. That's good for the Penguins. Bo Bennett up to an 86. Matt 87. Harrington didn't progress at all, though I believe he played last year. Imama finally made the NHL, but it's only as a 78 grinder. And Webb. So we've been following Imama for a while. Oscar Kellington's up to an 85. Whoops. That's Logan Couture. Is up to an 85 overall. Let's see what he did last season to get to this point. Oh, he was only in the NHL for 4 games. Never mind. I thought at the beginning of the year I remember him being in the NHL. So I guess just a really good year in the minors jumped him up. So him and Mirko Mueller, definitely defensemen of the future for the San Jose Sharks. And Thomas Hertl, who's pretty much capped out at this point. Then in the minors they got Nikolai Goudobin, Talixon, and Tremblay still. St. Louis has Orlando Davies, looks like a top pick for them in recent memory. It was this last draft. So this last draft was really good from the preliminary anyway. It all depends on player progression still. But Nikita Korostelov and then a bunch of players after that. And then they got Ivan Barbashev, who probably should have slightly higher potential. Probably should be 4.5 or either 4.5 yellow or 4 green stars. But looks like he's good right now for them. And Ty Ratty, who's up to an 84, although he's not really a prospect anymore. He's played the last few years in the NHL. Himbe got Kyle Walters. When did they draft? Did they draft him last year? Yeah, they did, 11th overall. So this was a really good draft, it looks like, for prospects. And then Marco De Souza, Adam Ernst doesn't turn into anything. Jonathan Drouin, the Hart Memorial Trophy winner and Art Ross winner, is up to a 92. Anthony DeAngelo is up to an 83. Slater Cuckoo is up to a 85. And it looks like Pontus Aberg, who we traded them a couple years ago in the Mike Ribeiro trade, He's a solid third liner, but it looks like that's just about where he capped out, a 15 goal scorer. Consistent 25 to 30 point producer. That's not bad for them. That's more than he would have done with us. So Morgan Riley is up to a 90 overall. Excellent shot, excellent offense. 74 points last season. Maybe we could look into him. Who knows? William Nylander up to a 77 on their main team. Frederick Gauthier, 80 overall. Minor leagues, they got Clint Winnick and these defensemen. Didn't go through all of them, but you got the point. So Vancouver's got Rolf Jarrett, Daniel Sprong, Tyler Benson. These guys should probably be gold stars, but Dolan Reed, a bunch of defensemen or centers. Jared McCann's up to an 80 overall. He probably should be getting some NHL time, but we'll see the reason he's not in a second. Shinkaruk, Bartschi didn't turn in anything. Jensen didn't turn in anything. So two highly touted prospects that really didn't do anything. Jake Vertonen's up to an 83. That's good for the Canucks. Clendening, Bo Horvat. So they got a lot of solid players, but no one who ended up really being great. Washington still only has those three guys in their NHL team. Madison Bowie finally made it, but that's about it for prospects. I consider Burakovsky a regular at this point. I remember he had poor seasons before this, so let's see if last year was his breakout year or if he continued to. No, it's only 58 points. Not super great, you know. He could still improve on that, but yeah, we'll look at Winnipeg's. Yeah, Fanjoy. They still have all the same prospects, it looks like. I don't really see anyone that I don't recognize from last year doing this. And then Shifley's a 90, obviously. We saw that before when we were... Josh Morrissey didn't progress. Ehlers is up to a 85, so that's good for them. I didn't see Patan anywhere, so I don't know if he just didn't turn into anything for them or what. Anaheim, nothing really. They got Hora. Richie jumped up to an 84. We'll see what his rookie season looked like, because I believe last year was his rookie year. So we'll see what he did. 31 points. Oh no, it was his second year. It was 31 points, improving on an 18-point campaign. So it looks like there's nowhere to go but up for Nick Ritchie at this point. I don't think I looked at their minors, so I'm going to do that. No one really knew. Shea Theodore not developing. What a surprise. Arizona, Luke Green almost about to crack the NHL. Burmistrov almost about to crack the NHL. When did they draft him? I don't remember him from before. Oh yeah, he was in this. No, he was 2 drafts ago. Never mind. Not this year, I don't think. No, this year was 2018. And then they got all these guys as well. And then Anthony Duclair looks like he's not really going to go up from 85. Next Domi is an 85. So it's probably, their top line is probably Samuelson, Domi, Duclair, or it's Samuelson, Perlini, Duclair. But that's nice. That's a good top line for that team. Maybe starting to show some of their bright future that everyone's been talking about. Well, I don't think everyone's been talking about it, but still. And they got Gravel. They signed him to a fucking long-ass contract. 3 years at $4.195. It's hefty for just a top 6 defensive. He might be a top 4 for them too, but still. Did I check their minors for Arizona? Yeah, I did. Boston has Kyle Moore, and that's it. And then they got Pasternak. Let's see what he's doing. It doesn't look like he was doing a whole lot, because I don't remember seeing him in leaders. Oh, he has 77 points. That's pretty good. Plus 45. Holy shit. That's what playing on Boston's going to get you, though. Lots of plus minus. Jesus. He's a career plus 52 in just 2 seasons. Crazy. Jesus. And he's on a pretty good contract, too, for the next couple years. And nothing really after that. Everyone's kind of... Kalinin is new, I think, and so is Turcotte. We'll look at both of them. Kalinin actually played 22 games in the NHL last year. It looks like he was a healthy scratch for a couple years before that, so I guess he just progressed doing nothing. And Turcotte is a rookie, so... We'll do goalies after this, too. It's going to run longer because I'm going a little bit more in-depth than usual. Connor McDavid up to a 90 after one NHL season where he put up only 44 points. But I'm scared of Buffalo because they just signed Carey Price. So Mikko Antila is... Why is he on their team? When was he drafted? 2018 as well. He was the other top defenseman prospect. Sam Reinhart Zemgus Girgensons, Sam Reinhart's up to they got 2 like 89 plus overall centers. No one else really after that wasn't there before. And then in their minors they got Cale Fleury and Mebus and Bruce Trafford. Calgary has a bunch of 4-star guys still. Haven't really turned out a good prospect yet, even though they've had kind of shit years lately. Matthew Barzal, Sam Bennett, and Sean Monahan all at center. That's just an embarrassment of riches. Johnny Gaudreau's up to a 91 overall, so he just passed Forsberg. And he's actually a much better point producer than Forsberg's been the last couple years. He had 87 points last year, so that's good for him. So we see who was the better rookie out of that class. As he's not only a higher overall, but a better point producer as well. I did not want to do that yet. So that worked out for everyone, I think. Calgary or Carolina, no one really. Elias Lindholm's actually getting really good for a 4.5 green star or 4 green star player. Hayden Fleury made the NHL, it looks like. In the minors, they got Sam Steele, Tolfson, and then a couple other guys. Not really anyone important. Dennis Yan for Chicago still hasn't cracked the roster. Lince Comier, Patrick Fellows, McNeil looks like he's never going to get up there. And it's the same old story for Chicago. The only guys that have potential are Jesus Christ. Vili Polka's up to a 94 overall. Good God. That's the symbiont, or that's the progression being nice to fucking Chicago. There's no reason he's a 94 overall. Unless he had a ridiculous playoff run. That's just going to hurt their... No, he had like 10 points, or 3 points in 10 games. That's just going to hurt their cap, because he's better than Shea Weber is right now. Well, it's going to be 3 years down the line, but still. And they'll have fun with that. That's ridiculous. That's just bullshit. Completely honest, that's bullshit. That should not happen. 94 overall for a 4 green star player? No way. Especially Vili Polka. Anyway, I'm done with my little rant. Colorado, these guys are all mainstays at this point. James Neal's still on their team, still an 88 overall. I want to see what he did last year for them. Only 42 points in 60 games. That's about a normal pace for James Neal. I still think we got the better end of that trade, considering Duchesne's contribution last year, leading the team in points. And they got Ryan Pilon in the minors, Logan Brown, Alexei Papin, Pavel Zacha. It seems like I read the same names every year because they're not progressing. Columbus has Murray Grigorenko, who we just traded them. Johansson's up to a 91 overall. I'm one of the people who call I'm always like, hey, he's Johansson, and I still do it sometimes. Hard with all these names. Kirby Reichel's up to a 87 overall. Did he play in the NHL last season? 56 points, 21 goals. So bright future in Columbus, as well as Wenberg and Boone Jenner and Oliver Bjorkstrand. So. And Sonny Milano. Did I check their minor leagues? No, I didn't. Paulson. They got Blake Penner, Cliff Pooh, Marco Dano. Still, Dallas. I don't know why I did that. They got Matthias Pyarvi. Oh yeah, this is all the fucking names I can't pronounce. And then they added Francis Bartlett with the 37th pick. So that was a second round pick for them. That's pretty good. We probably could have gotten him if we kept that second round pick that we had before, but again, everyone with them is already been in the NHL for several years or is about to cap out, so nothing really to report there. Anthony Mantha is up to an 87. What did he do last year? 60 points. That's good for that Detroit team that was awful. Had the second overall pick and then traded it to us. So. They got Proporov with their pick. No, that wasn't with their pick. Never mind. Yeah, that wasn't with their pick. That guy was there before. And then we'll just look at some of their other prospects that they have. This is going to be a really long episode because I'm not even close to where I was before. Edmonton. Is that it? No, it's not. They have Parise, Gennaro, Kircher, and Schutz. And obviously these guys have all been in the NHL for a while. Draisaitl, Nurse. And Jeremy Waugh made it in finally, and we'll go on. Florida guard Spacek, Fane, and Aaron Ekblad's up to a 90. I thought he would have gotten a little higher with that 4.5 green stars, but he's still only 22. So they got Grimaldi and Duperreault made it in finally, but that's it. LA, yeah, they're 150 prospects or and goaltender. So Zykov's up to an 83. These guys are probably going to play really big roles with the team this year, considering their bad roster. And Roland McEwen, 77 overall, made it to the NHL too. Tanner Pearson fell down 2 overall after his lockout and decided to bring his price down. I don't think he played all last year. I think he sat out the entire season. So, did not work out for him in the slightest. Yeah, he did not play 2017-2018 season. So, his lockout ended up hurting him more than helping him. Minnesota, Marsh, Card, Yannicki, and then they got Charlie Coyle, who's Red Stars because they probably didn't play him right. They got Malak, who made the NHL. That's good. I believe this will be his rookie year. Yeah, he only played even 1 year in the NHL. Not a very good offensive player. Not a very good D. He definitely still needs more time to develop. But they're going to try him out in the NHL, see what he can do. And then everyone else is not important. Montreal, they got Calder winner Nikita Sherbak up to an 86. I believe he was in this franchise. No, he was drafted the first year. I thought he was in this franchise before I even started it, but had 54 points last year. It's pretty decent, or I think so anyway. I think Nathan Boyou is a bust. Then they got Valery Sundakov with the 8th pick in this last draft. Looks like they're going to probably be picking high next few years. I'll check their goaltender situation. They got Gloria Estefan as well. I know it's not really Gloria Estefan, but I like to think it is. And then we'll do goalies quick. So, obviously, we have Nedved. Nothing really else to say about that. And then Varlamov coming off the books this year, too. We got Nedved. New Jersey's got nothing, but they have Declos. They should probably look into trading Corey Schneider soon. He's got 3 years left. We might look into it. We might look into it after this year if we decide to let Semyon Varlamov walk. And we don't think Nedved will be ready. The Islanders have these same guys, Herbst. They also have, why'd they sign James Reimer just to play in the minors for them? That's stupid. Soderstrom, Herbst, and Blackwood. The Rangers have Alex Dubois as the backup to Henrik Lundqvist, and nothing in their minors really. They have Dustin Tokarski, but he's maxed out. The Senators have Dylan, and that's it. Not really a good goaltending situation there. Philadelphia still has Max Shields playing in the minors. Looks like he's stuck behind Johnson, not playing at all. So it looks like he's going to be a bust. Pittsburgh has nothing, but they have Greiss and Fleury, who have been a great combination, especially Greiss. Has played really well for them for some reason. He's only an 84 overall, but he consistently has 2 really good goals against and save percentages. Except for this last year, wasn't that great, but still, he's playing a bulk of the games over Fleury, even though Fleury's a higher overall. But I've known this stupid system's broken forever anyway. So, Sharks have Green Dawn, who I'd probably have play over Niemi at this point, to be completely honest. St. Louis has Lindback, Mats Lindback, so he might replace Brian Elliott here soon. Vasilevsky looks more and more to not really fill out his potential at this point, although he might get the chance next year with Ben Bishop, probably hitting free agency, but Patrick Day is right there and ready, so who knows. Toronto has all horseshit. Oh no, this guy's not that bad. I thought that was their main team, not their minors, so we actually helped them out by giving them a backup goalie. Vancouver's got Lee and Lotz, but Markstrom and Lack are holding down the fort in the NHL. So Washington's got Jake Smith to back up Braden Holtby. Although I think Jake Smith's on the trading block, so who knows. And Holtby, what's he been doing the last couple years? He capped out already, but 2.68, 9.11 save percentage, 9.11 save percentage. 2 years before that were Vezina worthy though, with a 9.22 save percentage and 9.28 save percentage. Definitely a great goalie for Washington. Winnipeg has Comrie and Hutchinson, so it looks like they finally decided to just chuck Havlich in the minors because Comrie got too good. And they still have Hutchinson that they're paying $6 million a year. I don't understand Winnipeg. This is just bullshit. There's no reason that this should happen. They should make a trade of some sort, but also I didn't get to LA where it's even a more ridiculous situation. So Anaheim signed Jeremy Brodeur away from the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Columbus Blue Jackets have been known in this series for blowing goalie roster spots, but John Gibson's holding it down for them in the NHL, and Roberto Luongo's probably going to retire out of that contract soon. So Brodeur might have a shot. Johnston also has 4.5 red stars, and Ressup has 4 stars, so that's good for them. Rylan Parenteau is just on the cusp. They still have Byzantine for the next 2 seasons under contract, and then Brennan could be a solid backup if he develops properly. So they got a good thing going. Looks like Rask is about to start declining, which is good because he's just killed the NHL the last 2 years, although they haven't really made it that far. Malcolm Subban is only an 82 overall, so it looks like they really blew that. And then Buffalo's got Carey Price for the next 7 years. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, next 7 years. So that's fun. And then Brody Williams, who we signed and traded back to them. Calgary in their minors have DeConing, who still hasn't quite made it. They have Hiller and McDonald, so it looks like they're headed for another bad year. And Craig Anderson in the minors for some reason. Carolina has this guy who got better than Cam Ward, I guess. Yeah, Cam Ward's sitting in the minors. This is why I can't get too far into these goaltenders. I always get too good, and then stupid stuff like this happens, like Winnipeg and Khudobin. Chicago has Sittler and Crawford, and then they got Cataret and Weber. Yeah, Weber they let sit too long and dropped to Red Stars, I think. I think that's what happened. Pekka Rinne is a free agent after the season as well, and he's an 87 overall. So he's not really an elite goalie anymore, but hopefully he can still get it done for Carolina or Colorado. At least they hope anyway. And Calvin Pickard. And then in the system they have these couple guys that could turn into something, but nothing really other than that. Columbus has Oscar Danson, Sergei Bobrovsky, with Hicks, Lazarev, and that's it. Those are the guys we had to trade back to them a couple years ago. Spencer Lowe, the top goaltender in the draft, went to Dallas. They have Jack Campbell and Kari Lehtinen, so it looks like Campbell is either going to be a free agent or he's going to be starting for them again next year. Well, they hope their prospect develops. Mrazek never turned in anything because they never played him right. But they got Patterson in the minors as well. Edmonton still has nothing. Ryu is close to making it, but probably won't at the same time. And Brossois always gets good for some reason. Florida has got Vadatur, who's actually unseated Frederik Andersen. So it looks like Andersen's headed for free agency next year as well. And Vadatur is looking to start his reign as a elite goaltender in this league, after going 21-18 with a .271 goals against and a .912 save percentage last year, and having a shit season the year before that, going 0-3. So, see, this is what happens when you have too many good goalies. You trade one of them. Bardasak and Quick making a combined almost $10 million. And Bardasak is also on the trading block. Oh, let's look at all their minor league goalies that they have too. Oh, they actually got rid of a couple of them. They're probably sitting in free agency with all the other 4-star goalies. They got Gugavaz and Berman now. They had a lot more before, though. So Minnesota's got Lankinen, who's going to back up Kemper. And then in the minors, they got this guy. And Montreal has... Zach Fucale is actually an 87. So it looks like their goaltending might not be in the worst situation in the world. Maybe that's why they let go of Carey Price. You know, save that $8 million and... pay someone like Zach Fucale, who had a pretty good season last year, it looks like. 909 save percentage, 279 goals against, and is an 87 overall. He can definitely hold it down for them. So this took almost 30 minutes to do, but I feel like I went more in depth than I usually would. So I had a lot of more players to look at. So if we win the Cup, this is the last year. That's pretty much the only thing I've had to say that's team related. And since we kept back, we don't have to name another alternate. So thanks everyone for watching. Next episode's going to be Sim. Peace.